Dear friends, in circular motion we have seen the displacement, velocity, acceleration. For the kinematics of circular motion, these terms in circular motion called as angular displacement, angular velocity, angular acceleration are analogous to that of linear displacement, linear velocity and linear acceleration in linear motion or translational motion. In linear motion, mass, that is amount of matter present in the body, is the measure of inertia, and it plays very important role in a motion. In a similar manner, is there any term which is analogous to that of mass in rotational motion, and what are the factors on which this quantity which is similar to mass depends in rotation? That is the important aspect of today's lecture, video lecture. For that, I will start with a very interesting fact that happens in day-to-day life. Every day, we many times used to close and open the door, and while closing and opening of the door, how physics come in different ways, that we will study, and from that we will go to the new term that is to be included here, the inertia in rotation, that is moment of inertia. For that we will start like this. Let us consider it is the frame of the door. For this frame of the door, there are obviously hinges supplied here to connect the door with the panel of the door. This is somewhat looks like a panel of the door. This is the panel of the door. For closing and opening of the door, a handle is provided here. Let us consider the door is in vertical plane. This is the handle provided to the door. For closing of a door, we pull the door, panel of the door, and for opening of the door, we push the panel of the door by applying a force perpendicular to the plane of the panel. This is plane of the panel perpendicular in the plane of the board, and we have to apply push or pull for opening and closing of the door. This push or pull, that we call it as the force applied, is perpendicular to the panel of the door. Now, here one thing which is very clear is that closing and opening of the door is nothing but a turning of the door about the axis which passes through the frame. This is the axis about which the panel of the door turns. Therefore, turning effect of a door, which is a part of rotation motion, is possible by applying a perpendicular force. Here perpendicular, exactly I am not able to draw it as it is perpendicular to the plane, but I will show that it is like this. Force is applied perpendicular to the door. This turning effect of the door, by the application of a force, not only depends on the magnitude of the force applied on it, but also depends on at what distance the force is applied from the axis of rotation. Let this distance is represented by r. Now, it's a common experience that it is convenient to apply force at the handle because we need a small force. But if I want to push the door by applying force nearby the axis, I need a more force because the large magnitude of force is required as the distance from the axis is small. As if you go on increasing the distance from the axis, the magnitude for the turning of the door will be less. Therefore, we will define a new term that is called as the torque. What torque is? It is the ability of a force to produce a rotation, and it is given by R into F, where R is the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation to the line of action of a force. It's the perpendicular, that is the shortest distance. This torque has ability to produce a rotation, therefore it is also called as moment of force. Vector moment of force is represented by vector tau is equal to vector r cross vector f. Vector moment of force is represented by vector r cross vector f. Now, this is how the rotation is produced. Rotation is produced by applying a torque. Torque is the ability of a force to produce rotation. What this torque is equal to? It is the product of magnitude of the force and perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation to the line of action of a force. Now, let us come to another example. It's in a rigid body of irregular shape. This rigid body is rotating about an axis of rotation. The motion of a rigid body is anti-clockwise sense of rotation. It has angular velocity omega, constant angular velocity omega. Let this rigid body used to have finite number of particles in it. Then the particle of mass m1 is at a distance r1 from the axis of rotation. Particle of mass m2 is at a distance r2 from the axis of rotation. Particle m3 is at a distance r3 from the axis of rotation. So on and so forth. particle of mass mn is at a distance rn from the axis of rotation. It's very clear that when the rigid body rotates, every particle of this rotating rigid body performs circular motion with same angular velocity omega. And when particle performs circular motion, it has linear tangential velocity. As the body rotates, every particle in it performs circular motion with same angular velocity omega, and the particle of mass m1 moves with tangential velocity v1, particle of mass m2 moves with tangential velocity v2, particle of mass m3 moves with tangential velocity v3, particle of mass mn moves with tangential velocity vn. The kinetic energy of rotating body is equal to sum of the kinetic energy of all the particles in a circular motion of a rotating body. The particle in a rotating body performs circular motion with tangential velocity related to angular velocity by formula v1 is equal to r1 omega, v2 is equal to r2 omega, like that vn is equal to rn omega. From this, the kinetic energy of different particles in the rotating body, the kinetic energy of particle of mass m1 ke1 is equal to half of m1 into v1 square, which comes out to be equal to half m1 into r1 square omega. The kinetic energy of particle of mass m2 half m2 into v2 square, which comes out to be equal to half m2 into r2 square omega, and like that the kinetic energy of nth particle is half of mn into rn square into omega. Kinetic energy is a scalar quantity, can be added by simple algebraic rule. Therefore, the kinetic energy of rotating body or rotation is equal to sum of the kinetic energy of all particles, and it will be equal to half of m1 r1 square omega m2 r2 square omega plus dash dash m2 r2 square. Here v is equal to r1 omega, therefore v1 square is r1 square omega square. v2 is equal to r2 omega, therefore r2 square omega square, and plus dash dash is equal to half of mn rn square omega square. Therefore, the kinetic energy of rotation should be equal to half in the bracket m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus dash dash mn rn square into omega square. Now, with this I will write the kinetic energy of rotation should be equal to half of, in the bracket, summation mi ri square bracket close omega square. Now, if you compare this relation with kinetic energy of translation motion, the kinetic energy of translational motion, kinetic energy of translation motion is equal to half of m into v square, and kinetic energy of rotation, kinetic energy of rotation is equal to half of summation mi ri square omega square, that we get from here. If you compare these two relations, what you will see that here omega, the angular velocity of a rotating body, is analogous quantity to that of linear velocity in translation motion. In a same way, this quantity, which is summation of mi ri square, is analogous to that of mass in linear motion. Mass is the inertia in linear motion, then summation mi ri square is inertia in rotation, and inertia in rotation is called as moment of inertia, represented by I, and hence it is kinetic energy of rotation is half of I omega square. What I is? I is a quantity in rotation which is analogous to that of mass in linear motion. No, what are the factors on which the value of I depends on? The value of I depends on mass of each particle and square of its distance from axis. Therefore, this moment of inertia depends on the mass of the body as well as how the mass is distributed from the axis of rotation. Moment of inertia is the quantity which depends on the distribution of mass about the given axis of rotation, and the role of moment of inertia in rotation is same as that of mass in linear motion. Mass in linear motion is the measure of inertia. It opposes to change the state of linear motion. In a similar manner, moment of inertia is the inertia in rotation which opposes to change the state of rotation. And moment of inertia depends on the mass possessed by that body, and not only that, how the mass is distributed from the given axis of rotation. Thank you very much.